What's up, guys? We're working on a 2012 Camry Hybrid, and today we're going to be showing you how to replace the rear sway bar links. These things are pretty common to go bad. They'll make clunking noises, and they're not too bad to change. If your vehicle is really rusty, then you may have some difficulty changing them. So these are the sway bar links right here. They're pretty cheap to replace, but they're secured by two 14mm nuts. One at the strut, the other one down at the sway bar. And yeah, in order to get here, you're gonna have to jack the vehicle up, pull the wheel off. You should have 5 21mm wheel nuts. Get the wheel off, and then just gotta simply buzz this 14mm nut off. So we're gonna try to get this off here. You can see that the stud is spinning, and that's a very common thing to happen on these. The threads will get all rusty. When you try to take it off, instead of the nut coming off of the threads, it just spins the whole stud with the ball inside, and you can't get the nut off. So there's a couple ways that you can try to get the nut off. First and foremost, I would say clean the exposed threads that are sticking out past the nut with a wire wheel the best that you can. And then I use this tool right here. This one's called the hot rod, but it's an induction heater. They go under many different names. You can pick one up for, I don't know, 150 or 200 bucks. They're a lifesaver if you got rusty parts and you're working on rusty vehicles. It will heat the metal up without using a flame. If you have access to a torch, that would work good too, but heat is your friend. And then if you don't have any of that, you're gonna need a way to hold the stud. So needle nose vice grips are the next runner up. These are my go-to. So you just sneak those in there, tighten them down, get a good clamp on that stud. That's gonna hold it and keep it from spinning. And then we can just get in there and finish the job off. Clamp those, pull this link out of here. And now we just need to get to the bottom. You can see here, once I get this out, we got a good view. There's this flange, and that's where you're gonna wanna try to clamp onto with the vice grips. You wanna get like right on there like that. Got the induction heater plugged in. We've got our coil installed. You just have to put whatever component you're trying to heat in between the coil, push the button, and now you just wait for a minute. It says don't hold the button for more than 30 seconds, but sometimes I like to hold it for more than 30 seconds. You can see it's starting to smoke now. So it's definitely getting hot. And then what I'm gonna do is just bust out the impact gun. We're gonna see if we can get this off in one shot. Almost. Now you can see the oozing hot lava that's coming out of there. Just a heads up, you may want to have safety glasses and gloves on and not be standing in the direct path of the hot lava. Once again, we're going to get our trusty vice grips out. Reposition and try again. Ooze. Ooh. All right, successfully removed the sway bar link. Now is the time to clean up the mating surface. If you got any rust on there, probably grab some sandpaper or a needle descaler, knock all the scale off. Then we just got to get our new link and throw it in. All right, these sway bar links have a hex key cut out in the center of the stud. And they put that there on a lot of sway bar links so that you can basically put a wrench on the nut and then use an Allen key or a hex socket on a ratchet or something to hold the stud and keep it from spinning. Usually the OEM sway bar links do not come with that. I seen a hole in the one that was installed, but it was pretty rusty. So you can see I just had to sort of readjust the position of the stud so that it was angled correctly to go through the hole. Then we've got our new nuts. We're going to hand start those. These have nylon built into the end of them to act as a thread locker. And these get torqued down to 29 foot-pounds, by the way. So we're going to run these down with the impact gun. Okay, these links, the nuts are actually 17 millimeters, so they're a bit bigger than the 14s that came on it. Okay, those are successfully installed. Now all you have to do is just basically put the wheel back on. The wheel nuts get torqued down to 76 foot-pounds according to the service manual. Personally, I do them to 100. That's just my preference. You're going to want to tighten the wheel down in a 5-star pattern, do 2 passes of that, and then after approximately 60 miles or 100 kilometers of driving, you're going to want to do a wheel retorque and make sure that the wheel nuts are properly and adequately seated. If you got any questions, throw them in the comments. Hopefully the video was a help. And as always, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.